So here we are, folks, with the continuation of our Wulfrik campaign. Last time around we did fight off some aggression from the Nordlanders and in Midland. So it was a bit of a short episode, I think, just because there was a lot of battles going on, and so yeah, here we are, continuing from where we left off. This Midland army seems to kind of be roving around. I don't really think I'm going to go chase after them. I think it would be a bit of a waste. Definitely going to melt arm guards. Norse doesn't really rely on armor that much, so it's not the biggest loss. Going to move in here into Wolfenburg and deploy into raiding stance. And it looks like this is only a... Oh wow, it's only tier 1. It must have been raised or something beforehand. This army over here, I've gotten to kind of my zone of control. I've gotten a zone to the dwarves away, so this army can go back and head towards Kislev to reoccupy it, and then move north and do all that sort of stuff. Hopefully get all the Gormadi Mountains and like the Bersonlings territories and all that sort of stuff under my control. I'm going to attempt to ambush these Midlanders. If I could wipe them out, that would be perfect. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to deploy into ambush stance and hope to attack them. I think that's it for my armies at the moment. I don't really have anything else. And I don't have the money to upgrade anything, so just gonna sit tight for a turn and yeah, let things develop a little bit. It is a 70% chance, so there's a decent shot that. Oh, it looks like they will fall for it. And awesome, we got the ambush off, and I can put terror on these guys, and yeah, just auto resolve them, which clears this army up. That helps settle some of my problems. Sacrifice captives for money. And soon I'll be pressuring Midland pretty hard from the east over here with Wulfrik's force, so that'll definitely solve. This guy over here is going to be reducing my corruption, which is not ideal. Authoritarian, that is less than ideal. Fortunately, Norse doesn't need to worry too much about public order because it's not likely that I'm going to be in my own provinces that often. I do actually have to level Wulfrik up. Gonna move here to Wolfenburg. I'll just auto-resolve this because it's a very straightforward and easy battle. And see what I get from that. That's definitely not worth the sacking, and it's just gonna raise it for the Hound. And Wulfrik is level 20, so we can get Hardened Hunters done, or we can get Standard Eye. I'm gonna get Standard Eye done first, and because the boost there is pretty significant. I also do believe I forgot about a wizard I had. This guy over here on his way home. I'm gonna pull him out. Water. And yeah, Norden over here is trying to grow, but unfortunately I think with Wulfrik there, is he really slowing down my growth? No, he's not. Okay, that's good. Might be just affect the local region. I forgot to check that sort of stuff. This army in the meantime is going to Kislev as fast as its legs can carry him, or as little legs can carry him. Over here I could level up some of these encampments over here on the east, or I'm definitely going to invest in Obsidian Quarry. And I'll finish leveling up these harbors. And right now I'm not really making much in the way of money, so that is definitely not something I'm too happy about, but it is what it is. And a new technology is unlocked, so I could do Bang of Vorsley, but I could also do Raising of the Empire, which I think is what I'm going to do. The reduced upkeep on Marauders will be very helpful, because a lot of my armies currently are relying on a mass of Marauders. Midland, I think, has practically no armies left. I could, of course, be wrong. But after defeating me, that was Boris's army over there. So I think. So after defeating that, I should be in a pretty secure position. Cathai slave dancers. Ancestral structures that speak for your people's needs. I'm going to move Wulfrik here to Hergig, and next turn I'll besiege it and hopefully take it. I got into raiding camps. It actually looks like this is making me a lot of money in this place. This guy's leveled up, which is awesome. And I'm going to invest in natural healing. This guy's going to be a much more strategic oriented hero with that growth bonus and that sort of stuff. And I'm not entirely sure if I can reach Kislev. It does look like I can just barely make my way to Kislev, but I don't know if I'll have the money. I don't have the money to recolonize it, so tough luck for me. It is what it is. And I'm going to wait a turn just to get so I can actually scrape together the money to colonize that area. Actually, I'm gonna start building a thing because the next turn I should be able to sack him. Hergig and make a decent chunk of change there. Middenheim is a pretty powerful faction, I think, territory-wise. They do control 2 provinces in their entirety. Boris asking for peace, though, definitely not getting it to him for free. It doesn't look like they're very weak military-wise, but I do believe they control all of Middenland and all of Hochland over here. So making massive amounts of money from raiding, but I'm gonna sack Hergig over here. All these are basically auto-resolve battles. There's not much reason to spend time. Obviously, you definitely get smaller losses by fighting it, but sieges tend to be pretty tedious and it's much quicker. Just auto-resolve a siege like that one. And I'm still making good money here from the raiding. Norden could technically level some things up there. I'm gonna get the Longship Graveyard level up here because I do want to knock out these. I do want to reduce my upkeep on all my armies because that would be very, very useful. Huh, I gotta decide what it is that I want to build exactly. Definitely want to level this up. Get a loot pile over there. Grayling Moot over here. I do have these working. And I do want to get mammoths fairly soon. So what I'm going to do here actually is I'm going to build another encampment where I can build Werkin. Warhound kennels, because I do want to open up some room to recruit additional Werkin across my armies. And so yeah, because currently I can field quite a lot of Shaman Sorcerers, and they're in... I can actually check how many I can field. I can field 7 of them, so I'm basically set there. And that's not really a problem for me. And I'm definitely going to level this up all the way, just to unlock those Fimir, finish up the some of the tech here. And just basically slowly but surely leveling everything up to max. And this army over here can occupy Kislev and yeah, colonize it. I wonder if I can get the Boca Palace in Kislev. I forget, actually. I don't think I can occupy Prague. But there is a special building in Kislev that a lot of the other factions can get access to. Vampire counts, Takers of All, I think. But Vampire counts, Empire, and Bretonia can all get access to the unique building there. So I'm not entirely sure if Norska can as well. So we'll find out in a little bit, hopefully. The Jagged Horn Tribe, I don't know if they actually plan to... They're not even planning to fight. I'm going to fight them though, because I do want to... this will be a decent chunk of money. Oh, this is not fighting, auto-resolve, get some money. These guys are fleeing, and I'm actually not going to be able to chase them, I don't think, because they retreated into Empire territory. I'm going to take Hergig here, auto-resolve it, and yeah, and raise it for the Hound. Unfortunately, that means no more raiding here for me. That means we're not going to be getting much in the way of income from this province. So I could do Champions of the North, or I could also start investing more and more in Wulfrik, like a devastating charge, because he's in a Mammoth. The melee defense isn't important, in my opinion, on a Mammoth, because the Mammoth tends to knock everything around. So it's usually it doesn't get tied down in close quarters. It's just kind of protected by its bulk. I'll level these things up to 5. Kislev over here. Well, moment of truth. Do I get the Boca Palace or no? It looks like I do not. So that's a little unfortunate. It's a pretty cool structure if you're playing as any other faction. Actually, rather than building an income building, I'm going to build a loot pile just to speed up my growth here. It looks like I don't quite have the money for that, so I'm going to see if there's any structure level up. Well, one more turn will get me there, so that's okay. And yeah, ending turn. But extra growth should help Kislev quite a bit, I think. And I forgot about to move my mage again. I often forget about agents if I'm not like specifically using them to roam around and kind of assassinate enemies. I'll often just forget about them and let them sit. And it's definitely, this mage should have probably been back with my army by now, if I'd been more on top of that. Kislev leveling up to tier 2. I don't really want to fight the Empire just yet, so So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing north with Wulfrik. Hopefully get the knock the brass keep out next turn. I'm going to enter raiding camps ends here. And yeah, Norden's almost ready to level up. One more turn and they'll have enough population to hit the man-made fjord. And don't think there's really much of anything else I can do. Kind of waiting on this army to get going. No, I think I might be at war with Marienburg. I'm not. They just really hate me. And yeah, there's that Beastman stack roaming around somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where. But the reduction in upkeep for all my Marauder units should be a huge boost. I'd think. The biggest problem with infantry for Norska is that if you want to do the monster hunts, the infantry is just not very good at good form at all. It looks like I'm actually not going to be able to quite reach Brasskeep because for some reason it takes a lot of movement to reach all the way up there. Enter raiding camp stands here, making a little bit of money. Norden over here could technically level up, but I don't have the money for it. Still need one more turn. In the meantime, Kislev is leveled up, so I'm going to build this first dash. And level up my work in to get Frenzied Assault here. I think I could just keep saving up money. It's going to take at least one more turn. But with the sacking or raising of Brasskeep, I should be set money-wise to level up Norden. And I do believe that's basically it. I'm going to keep moving this army east. Scout out Midland to see what they're up to. It does look like they've got some pretty wealthy settlements here. So if I can take Middenheim and then go from there, that would be great. Unfortunately, I'm a little worried they might get confederated by Empire, which I would not really appreciate. Empire confederating, I don't really want to go to war with Empire at the moment. My army's not really in a position to fight. So Bretonnia is doing something. I don't know if they're actually offering me a little bit of money. I'll take the money in peace. I don't really care to fight them at the moment. Midland, though, I intend to annihilate, so I'm not giving them peace. So I got a decent amount of money here. Norden is getting leveled up, and I don't want to scrap those defenses just yet because I'm a little worried that the Nordland, which of course is recuperating somewhere over here, will recuperate in full, and then they will come attacking, and I'll need to shut it down somehow. Seems like these Marauders with great weapons tend to take all the damage, and it's a little strange why that is. I could actually sack, and I will sack for this little bit of money. It's not a lot, but I'm not in the best of monetary situations right now, so yeah. Gonna make the best of it. Kislev needs leveling. Gonna invest in trophies of battle. Unfortunately, the corruption isn't spreading that quickly. The local populace is pretty untainted, so that's a bit of a problem. I might end up just leaving the Skin Wolf here. What happens if I leave with my army? Drops to -4. So I'm gonna sit tight for a little bit longer. Hopefully get this corruption a little higher and then move out towards the Versoling's encampments and all that. Can get a slaver's camp, and I can get these harbor towns upgraded. And yeah, that makes me broke, so there's not much else to say there. Yeah, ending turn. So at this point, we're kind of just like we've snowballed to the point where there's very little that I can contest. So yeah, it should be pretty straightforward from this point on. At this point, it's just kind of raising and ransacking everything in our path. One of the interesting things, so I don't know if you guys, how much you guys keep track of the Total War Warhammer 2 progress. I assume a lot of you are pretty hyped. I definitely am. And I'm definitely interested to see. So we've seen some Dark Elf gameplay now, and I'm wondering if the Dark Elves will be the first faction that can actually go toe-to-toe with dwarves in the skirmisher department. Because, let's see, I'm going to get standard die, foe seeker. Yeah, foe seeker. Because currently, the dwarves are basically the undisputed masters of, which one here is more helpful? This one, I suppose. So right now, the dwarves are basically the undisputed masters of straight-up skirmish fighting. And there's really not much. How's this progressing? And It's mostly because they have a mix of shields and armor on their units. For example, their Quarterlers right now are probably the best skirmish-to-skirmish combat unit in the game. Their Rangers are pretty good despite having low armor because they have bronze shields, and Thunders as well for the same reason, 80 armor and bronze shields. But the new Wood Elf units, or sorry, not the new Wood Elf, the new Dark, and like you can trade with, for example, with Way Watchers. They can kite down, and they can actually be cost-effective against Dwarven skirmish units, but it takes a lot of micro and a lot of player skill and all that sort of stuff. But the Dark Elf units, while they don't have a lot of armor, it's only 30 armor I think, they do have silver shields, so I'm very, very interested to see. And they have armor piercing, and their projectiles are not just armor piercing, but they also get the double tap sort of mechanic, where they fire 2 arrows at once, just like these Swift Shiver Shards. So I'm definitely wondering if they were going to be able to compete against dwarves in a straight up fight. Because right now nobody else really can, and Wood Elves can kite them down. And that is, practically speaking, it as far as which factions can really contest them. I have attained level 2 allegiance there. Unfortunately, it looks like you get very badly slowed down in the Braskeep region up all the way up there. I don't know what's in this army. Seems like it's a pretty elite army, which is not encouraging.
Marked for all to see.
Just too interested in what that guy's got to say. Just like, yeah, I'm sure it's important. Gonna get some work in, and yeah. Still waiting on the corruption to grow here. If I can get tier 3, that would be ideal. But I'm definitely interested to see how the Dark Elves will play out. And their cavalry doesn't seem to be... I was expecting the Cold One Knights, because those are like big, brutish dinosaurs and other things. So I was thinking they'd be like pretty powerful in a straight up fight, but they don't seem to be that strong. They definitely don't seem to be comparable to, say, Demigryphs. So I was a little surprised by that. It might just be that I don't really know the lore all that well, so it's definitely... And I don't really know how they play at tabletop, but... I was also surprised by that, but their skirmish cavalry seems to be amazing. Quite possibly the best in the game. So I'm going to move all the way into Middenheim. And start raising. Or start raiding. And that's making me a lot of money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrap one of these Marauders, the lowest tier ones. Which are these guys. And that'll free up space for my Wizard of Death. And I can embed him in there. He does have Spirit Leech, which is pretty powerful. Norden over here is getting leveled up, but slowly but surely. Kislev is not quite there yet. I can level up the income structure. I really badly need to get this though. Let's see. So right now I'm looking at negative 415 control, and right now I've only got plus 11, so it's definitely a bit of a problem. I think I'm just gonna march north. Forget it. This unhappiness is not great, but there's still corruption growth here, and that should compensate. I'm not worried if this Middenheim army does come to contest me. If they do, I've got quite a lot of infantry, so I should just be able to swap them. Artillery isn't very good against against Norska, in my opinion. Not even. I'm just gonna bypass. Not giving them peace. I think I'm gonna bypass Middenheim and go north to Nordland. These guys, are they gonna pay me for peace? No, I'm not giving you peace. So I'm gonna move north to Salzman, and this does seem to be raking quite a bit of cash. I'm gonna pincer these guys between Wulfrik and the army I have all the way in the east here. These are very cheap and pretty low-end armies, but it's okay. And it actually looks like these beastmen are just marching up north, up here. So instead of pushing out of Kislev, I'm going to be forced to fall back. Re-embed my army here, and I think I should be able to hold this. What is this? 20 stack. There's a lot of Harpies. The Harpies are pretty weak against... Unfortunately, I don't have too much in the way of Hunters. I'm not entirely sure what's in this garrison. There's Marauder Champs there, some Marauder Hunters. This guy's not going to be particularly great against My lord, the biggest problem there will be the Cygor. I could recruit a regiment of renown, I guess. The Icehorn Marauders. Do I really want to, though? Nah, I should be fine. That is practically it. I'm gonna see if there's anything else I can build. I'm gonna level up my harbor, I suppose, and yeah, that's gonna be it. Next turn, I should have control of Salzman over there. I do hope, and I do assume there's going to be DLCs, much like we had the Grim in the Grave and the King and the Warlord, but I'm definitely hoping we eventually get to see, definitely no peace, I'm hoping we eventually get to see the various Skaven weapons themes. I was hoping that if we were going to get the weapons themes, I was going to play, Skaven was going to be my first faction that I played. Are these guys going to fight me at Kislev? It looks like they're just besieging, which is kind of sad. But take Salzman over here. This is a really pathetic banner. I can just throw this on these guys. All those anti-air banners are pretty terrible in this game. Like, most air units in this game are pretty high quality to begin with, so things like a little bit of fear against them isn't going to do very much. That's a huge bit of income there. It's very, very solid. And yeah, I'll get to raise that next turn. Obviously, I don't have walls, but I'm definitely hoping the Skaven weapon, because right now the only weapons team I think we have. Oh boy, that has a lot of harpies. Definitely auto-resolving this one. But the Skaven weapons team right now, all we get is the I don't know what it's like, the warp flamethrower or the warpstone flamethrower, whatever it is. But it's not a very, like, it's a pretty lackluster. It's honestly, in my opinion, maybe it's just my thoughts on it, but it's pretty lackluster. Or well, it's not, maybe even not lackluster, but it's, as considering it's your only. You go for Dark Horror here, and then level up my guy a little bit with come from most battle loot. So I was definitely hoping for things like the Warplock Jezzail and the Warpstone Grinder for Skaven, and not getting that, it's a little disappointing. Hopefully we do get them in the future. I'm definitely looking forward to that sort of stuff, but for now, they were originally one of the factions I was thinking about doing, either them or Dark Elves, but after seeing that we're not getting all those fancy weapons teams, we're just getting a handful, then I decided to hold off on it. I'm definitely hoping that we do get some DLCs that add those units. But other than that, it also looks interesting, the whole intervention mechanic, being able to pay to kind of slow your enemy down. And it does look like the AI is actually going to have to do the same and judging by that, it looks like the AI is actually going to have to be doing the same objectives that the player's doing, which right now isn't really the case. Right now I'm not even sure what AI, like, it just seems like AI kind of meanders around and does its own thing. I'm not entirely sure if AI can actually achieve the conditions to win outside of annihilating the player. So, and maybe they can. Maybe it's just something I've never noticed because the AI performs so poorly. But definitely doesn't seem that way. Another loot pile. I'll go get dark. I guess, do I need a dark furnace? I guess it'll allow me to recruit some higher end units. And I have a lot of money now, so I'm gonna be able to move this army from here in Kislev up north and go take all the Bersonling's territories. So yeah, that is just a huge amount of income.
I travel the world seeking
Boris Toadbringer says peace, and I say no. I don't want peace. You can keep your peace. So they have some interesting stuff going on with these guys. I'm gonna move this guy over, Ragur Bergfalk, and have him raise Salzman. That way, Hound. And that way, good old Wulfrik over here can start raiding over here in Dietrichshaven. And yeah, that'll rake in even more cash. This is my strategically oriented lord, so I could do ruination, but I'm not really sieging very much, so I'm gonna go for upkeep reduction instead. Yeah, it looks like my kind of happiness is kind of stabilized. Over here, this military presence is improving this control here by quite a bit. I'm gonna move the Skin Wolf out again. I'm gonna deploy him. Which supposed to be at plus 11. And I'm going to wait a turn, recoup my units, and then move north. And if I can pick all this up, because the corruption here is very high, I shouldn't have too much of a problem like holding it. I should be able to just withdraw the army immediately. In the meantime, over here, still leveling up. I'm getting access to a lot of shamans. They're pretty solid units, so I can't really complain. They're worth getting. I do need to try to get more Werkin unlocks if possible. And for example, the Fimir Balefians, I just don't like them. Lord of Shadows and Lord of Fire are fine and all, but they're, I don't know. They're not a terrible melee combatant, but you gotta get them fairly late, and they're fairly intensive as far as what buildings you need to get to unlock them. They're much harder to field than just spamming shamans you can get with a tier 2 structure. I definitely need to get some monstrous units going though in Wulfrik's army if I want to start doing my quests, because the monster hunts are rather difficult with Marauder units. Because almost all of the monsters you have to hunt field massive amounts of AoE, and that just makes life fairly miserable. So over here I can actually throw. This guy does have lightning strike, so what I can do is I can move him here and hopefully attack this army.
Joined your channel.
And auto resolve there. Sorry about that, guys. I had to mute my TeamSpeak there. Only left it open. People messaging me or trying to talk to me. So, anywho, now onto the campaign here. Selected an upgrade for the Shaman's Search of Death, and now we're going to wipe out Dietrich's Covenant, and we're probably just going to occupy it. Yeah, just auto-resolve it. This is not really a battle worth fighting out. Hope I didn't lose anything. Okay, it's fine. And there we go. And now we could sack it, but I think I'm simply going to establish an outpost. It's a lot of money, but I'd much rather just get the outpost up and running, so I can deal with this guy over here. He's pretty beat up, so he shouldn't really be able to get very far. And now we're going to start building up. Get some public order buildings in Dietershaven and just start leveling that up. So this army over here in Kislev, Kislev's slowly but surely gaining. Right now I think that if I pull the army out, it's not going to be too much of a loss. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the army out, and I'm going to start heading over to retake all the Bear-Shoaling territory. And in the meantime, I'm just going to keep leveling up structures at home. Just trying to get up to these. The 1%, just trying to get those 1% upkeep reductions, as many as possible. Because those will definitely greatly help in the long run. Once I start fielding expensive units like mammoths, that can be a pretty massive boost across the board. So this guy has leveled up. I've not actually started doing any tech on him, so I'm just going to keep doing Field by War here, get that upkeep up nice and high, or nice and low, I guess. And over here, I'm mostly just trying to get the Hunter of Champions there. So I'm going to go for Woundmaker, just get that extra strength, so the Mammoth hits even more like a truck than it already does. And yeah, that's going to be it. Slowly but surely advancing on the maxed out Hound's favor. I still do need to get Champion of the Hound. Up to it's getting there. It's 4 more cities that need to be raised, which will probably happen fairly quickly. And yeah, I don't know how the looks like these guys are actually going to attempt to attack me, which is a little silly. So I'm simply going to auto resolve. It's a very one-sided match, and sacrifice captives. Make some good money out of that. And that basically solidifies. That means Nordland's been annihilated. And I definitely should check out my what followers I have, because right now I'm not really capitalizing on my followers, and I should certainly do that. This Skid Wolf over here is kind of just sitting around. I'm going to see if I can give him some followers who would improve corruption. Berserker for that extra weapon strength is great. Most of these are not that important. I'm actually going to probably guess. I do believe this applies to this should apply to, I think, the army that he'll be or placed in. I'm gonna see what I'm gonna see what items I can put on this guy as well. Basic armor, holy heck, these are some pretty crazy upgrades. I'm gonna throw on a bloodstained armor of Morcar. Tremendous sword is very strong, so I'm gonna actually give it to this Skin Wolf. Wolf Teeth Amulet. Actually, he already has Frenzy, so he doesn't really need that. I'll just give him an Obsidian Lodestone, and for enchanted item, he's got nothing that I can give him, so that's okay. Until then, he can just kind of keep leveling this area up. This army moving towards the resettling camp. Yeah, slowly but surely getting things done. I'm going to move this army a little further south. Going to get this sorcerer leveled up. I'm going to get life leeching. I do ultimately want to get Fate of Buna because that is a very, very strong talent. I'm just going to level this up. So I'm going to get Wulfrik over to here, and I'm going to have to go after Middenheim at some point, but Middenheim has a very, very strong garrison right now. So that might be a bit rough. We'll see. Gonna keep leveling the structures up. Gonna get this building leveled. Var camp is apparently, well, I'm not gonna invest in that. Because shortly I'm gonna need to invest in a whole bunch of settlements over here. Yeah, intern there. So it looks like Bretonia's been reduced to practically nothing.
Much time for killing.
And Boris over here is still demanding peace. I'm not going to give him peace. I just want to storm Middenland. I want to get everything there. And Inspire Populace, which is actually awesome because right now he's deployed there. I'm going to take them as slaves to reduce the construction times. And over here, this is perfect because I do need to improve my public order. This army is going to go to Bersoling's camp, rebuild it, and then move on north to the Frozen Landing. And this will give me a few more harbors, a little bit more income, that sort of stuff. So yeah, slowly but surely getting up there. Gonna reduce some upkeep even further. I could build some of these additional structures, but I don't really want to invest in those. I could level up Ice Streak Fjord one more time. That's actually okay. Some of these are just very expensive. So I'm not entirely sure how the public order is going to be in Dietershaven. It's pretty pitiful. I don't know how strong this garrison is. It's a pretty strong. Well, it's actually not that. I suppose I thought it was a much stronger garrison than it actually is. It's because when you consider, for example, artillery, especially the Hellblasters, are absolutely worthless, and so are the Outriders are pretty worthless as well on the defense, especially the way AI tends to use them. So I should be okay. Still kind of stomping through the Bersolling camp over there. I definitely will need to take an army east and deal with all that stuff at some point. All the quest. And I do need to get an army raiding Corone at some point as well. I'm not really going to invest in any structures right now. I'm going to get up into Middenheim as soon as I can, start initiating raiding stance there, and just start ransacking it. Hopefully take Middenheim in the next turn, and then kind of roll from there. I don't know if Middenland plans to fight me. If they do, that would be ideal. It actually looks like they're simply moving a hero out of their capital, which is okay. Bang of Moorsleep. So that's a solid tech. Now what I could do, I could invest in one with the beast, which is what I think I'm going to do. Unfortunately, none of these are particularly great. The reduced recruitment time on Mammoth is okay, but nothing crazy. I'm going to move here to Middenheim and see what's up. So I need to besiege the place. This is a fight I'm going to have to fight out. Now I do get 2 mammoths, which is very solid. And I do have quite a few berserkers. So unfortunately my wizard only really has Spirit Leech. On the flip side, their guy only has Harmonic Convergence, which is even less useful, I think. And they don't have very many high-end units. The biggest problem is these handgunners, and I guess the Outriders if I push in with Wulfrik and the Mammoth. This guy on a horse, I think he is. He is on a horse. So we're just gonna fight this battle. I could bother with siege equipment, but I think that with the mammoths just pushing in, and instead of trying to do any fancy footwork, I'm simply going to push in and stop. Actually, depending on where my reinforcements come in from, I could hit both walls at once. Those greatswords shouldn't be too much of a problem with the mammoths involved. And I do have the smalls of savagery in here, so they do have armor piercing. The artillery is basically a non-factor. My infantry is really bad though, except for the berserkers, so that that's going to be a problem. The great weapons can kind of deal with great swords, but my opponent does have a lot of great swords. Those outriders with grenade launchers, and this is an absolutely atrocious. So this is a bit of a. I guess this is a bit of a tidbit. I'm not sure if I'd say this is always the best idea, but honestly, so if you with Winds of Magic, when you can gamble on the start, in my opinion, if you get less than 10 Winds of Magic, it is worth gambling, and if you get more than that, it's not worth gambling over. I'm gonna get these guys set. I'm gonna put this guy into melee stance because I'm just gonna be rushing the gate with him. This is a very cheap army still. I'm hoping that after I storm Middenheim and probably just raise all of Middenland really. I'm hoping that after that all that's said and done, I'll be able to. Unfortunately, this is a very blobby sort of army. I don't have siege towers to kind of storm all over the gates, but we'll make it work. So. Yeah. Getting up to that gatehouse as quickly as we can. And I'm going to push up and see if I can try kind of whittle down some of these units up here on the wall as quickly as I can with my skirmish units. Obviously, they're not very good, but it's better than nothing. I'm going to send the marauders up the walls. Just do my best to kind of swarm all over my opponent. The marauders are not amazing, but at the moment I'm very, very kind of... if I don't allow my units to just swarm all over the walls, they're going to get caught up on, and they're going to suffer pretty badly in the crossfire here, so... if I can get on these raid swords, I guess, with the throwing weapons, that would be ideal. My large units are kind of plowing forward. The trolls moving forward, which is perfect. And yeah, slowly but surely we're kind of pushing along. Who's this guy? The Beast of Tashnar? Yeah, I'm going to push him up. I'm just going to hit these great swords. The great swords are probably the biggest challenge for my units. Unfortunately, my infantry is not going to do particularly well on the wall here against all these enemy units. But I can cast a Spirit Leech on this Empire Captain here, which I think is worthwhile, because he is a bit of a threat. Now you can see I'm just kind of swarming all over. These Marauders are expendable. In the long run, I'm probably going to be dropping the Marauders completely from my roster. For now, I'm keeping them around, but they're not going to be around for that much longer. So over here, the Spearmen with Shields should lose, even though the Berserkers will be very, very tired. The Spearmen with Shields should, I think, lose to them. Not entirely sure. I hope so. And these swordsmen aren't doing, as you can see, they're doing pretty poorly against the berserkers. Now this area is open, so I can just push through and go for the great swords. And as you can see, here in go the skin wolves, in go the mouths of savagery, in go all these units, just kind of plowing through. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to force path, or hope to force path the, kind of just force path my units through. I'm going to pop Wulfrik's buffs and just kind of push through into these units, and yeah. Unfortunately, the skin wolves are doing rather poorly. This is not an optimal, by any means, optimal fight for them. I'm going to send these guys up the walls. I'm going to send these guys right through. And hopefully these great swords will eventually, unfortunately they're just very tanky. These guys over here need to flank these handguns and get them off me. Actually, I'm going to send them down to the ground to deal with those handguns down there. Now, Wulfrik over here being an absolute champ. I'm definitely looking forward to wind spells being, because right now you can't adjust the angle of wind spells. And I don't know if you guys saw, but in the, we're supposed to be able to adjust the angle of wind spells in Warhammer 2, which should be awesome. That should make them much more viable than they currently are. Right now they're a bit of a joke, in my humble opinion. By and large, there are of course exceptions. For example, the Wow, I had to think about it for a second. I'm gonna pop that just to get a little more vigor. An example of one of this kind of is a Wind of Death. I think is the one. People are really saying Seafang is very good, but honestly, I don't really agree with that. I think Seafang is pretty bad. It's better. It's good because it's an ability and it's fairly cheap or free in campaign, but I'd hardly call it like an amazing or anything like that cast. Now over here, these Marauders are getting slaughtered to a man because the Great Swords are not their ideal matchup. As you can see, the fight in here is not going particularly well. I can pop a potion of toughness though, and over here I should have this mammoth over here, and I can send him into the handgunners. I'm gonna pop pop all my survival abilities. Just try to kind of mow these guys down. I'm gonna try to melt this Lord down. I'm not gonna try to shoot who this is. Is this Boris? It is Boris. Okay, I'm gonna try to melt Boris down. I'm gonna go after him with good old Wolfie here. I do believe my Marauders has been wiped out, or it actually looks like they have not. Interesting. So there's these Halberds, which will definitely cause me quite a bit of pain. There's a unit over here who's been practically wiped out. Oh, this is just Marauders, so they're not really concerned. Over here you can see Wulfrik is just being an absolute champ. But this is still, you gotta keep in mind, this is without Soul Crusher over here just getting focused. And you can see the Mammoth, even against AI, it struggles quite a bit. I'm going to throw my Skin Wolves at him, just try to get in there. And it seems like this Mammoth is just getting staggered repeatedly. It's not actually able to bust out of the basically permanent stun lock it's trapped in, and it's gonna probably gonna lose the Soul Crusher here. Definitely a flaw on my part. I had basically allowed it to overextend, and I could have basically just let my units be much safer. With Wulfrik here, I gotta be a bit careful. I'm going to cast a spell here. I'm going to see if I can get the Seafang lined up nicely. Actually, if the Soul Crusher retreats, that would probably be ideal. Skin Wolves are on top of my opponent now. Beasts of... I definitely need to get these units into my opponent's army. I'm going to send a Wulfrik in here and just try to get on top of these guns. All those Hellblasters and just massive amounts of firepower coming in. Is the Soul Crusher routing yet, or no? So it's a little strange. Beasts of Tashnar need to get in there. They are... this guy did use his Potion of Toughness. I'm going to pop Stand Your Ground, but I think maybe some of my units aren't really in position. And I'm just going to push through these units. As you can see, these guys are all just shattering at this point. This is perfect. Okay. So not entirely sure. I did definitely fled. I'm just not sure if I did lose the... that was a bit of an overextension. And it definitely shows that the Mammoth, as strong as it is against AI, if things can potentially go badly. I'm just getting in battle there. I'm probably just going to raise mid-9. There's probably a lot of money if I sack it, but... Well, I don't know. I'll see. I don't know if I lost the Soul Crusher, because if I had lost it, that would be a bit of pity. Obviously, the Regiments of Renown can be re-recruited after 10 turns, but that's less than ideal. I apparently lost the unit of Marauders, but that's not really the end of the world. I couldn't care less about those. As I said before, I'm going to be replacing those. These are all units that I'm going to be probably going to switch them. I'm going to probably hand over some of the better ones to a second army, and I'm going to scrap. It does look like Soul Crusher survives, and actually I'll sack it because that's a lot of money. And Middenheim should be a pretty easy target next turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over, just over the border. Will I still be able to encamp? I will not be able to encamp. That is unfortunate. It's okay. I'll just enter raiding stands and try to make some money. Okay, Woundmaker. Almost there. Like, at this point, Wulfrik should be able to almost one-shot most heroes. And yeah, gonna hop this army over the border, and once again I botched it, and they can't enter in camp stance. Dietershaven's on the verge of revolt, so I'm gonna have to send an army back there fairly soon. Over here, Bransoling's encampment is being rebuilt, and this army at this point can just kind of move over and head for Frozen Landing. I think they can make it next turn without any help. Kislev getting leveled up to tier 3, which is perfect, and in the meantime the happiness there is slowly climbing, so they'll be solid. Arengrad's solid, Norden in a good spot. I'm floating a lot of cash right now, which is nice. It's a bit like Wood Elves with as far as money is concerned. And yeah, Grayling Moot, again, just getting all these reductions in upkeep, as many as I can. And that is practically it. After this, I'm gonna have to send good old Wulfrik back home and to rebuild an army. Because right now his, or to rebuild his army, not because the army he's got right now is too bad, but because it's simply not what I want. I want him to have a stronger army, with monsters and whatnot. So once we raise Middenheim, I do believe I'll be calling it a, I think I'll be calling it a episode there. So unfortunately, Wulfrik is right on. I forgot that. That doesn't matter. It's just gonna be an auto resolve, easy peasy, and should be raised for the Hound, and that puts me at 72, I do believe, 72 allegiance, which is perfect. Shaman Sorcerer of Death getting better and better, and I'll be able to get some of these spells. I'm not the biggest fan of the first set of Lord of Death spells. I really like Fate of Buna, but they're not bad. So yeah, they're solid. Unfortunately, here there's that swamp, so I'm probably gonna have to send an army, either Wulfrik's or this guy, back to Middenheim. But what I want to do first is I want to stop all of Middenheim's things over here. And yeah, this guy's leveled up again. I can get fueled by War maxed out, which will improve, make sure my with the reduced upkeep, this will be huge. Or huge for me. Now this is leveled up. I do like to have these outpost settlements level up fairly quickly. And I could build a ruinous altar, and then I'll build some recruiting structures. Probably one for Werkin. I'll have Frozen Landing. The next step is going to be Sioktraken, and that is actually I think that's what I'm gonna call it. I think when I take Sioktraken, because right now I don't quite have it yet, and that's I think yeah, that will give me the control of the area that I really want. So yeah, ending turn. I'm a little worried the vampire counts might backstab me, and at this point I don't have the regiments of renown to build up an army from scratch and defend, say, Kislev, because Kislev is the only area that's really under threat. Nice. Dietershaven does need to level up a bit. Unfortunately. Okay, let's see. Bretonia's Confederate, and as you can see that I think I'm actually gonna. Well, both of these kind of suck. I'm gonna take Shrines Fortified because while I'm relying a bit on raiding right now. I'm gonna be doing a lot of raising and over here, so it's not too important. I'm gonna send good old Wulfrik back to home, back to Dietershaven, just to try to stabilize things a little bit. Though I do actually think I think does he worsen public order? No, he improves it. Okay, good. I thought I had a hero in here that worsens public order. I'm gonna move this guy over there. Frozen Landing is gonna get its harbor built, and next turn we're gonna have Sioktraken, and yeah, that'll basically set me up for good. Gonna get a Chaos Shrine going, and with that extra corruption, I should really be. As you can see, the happiness here is already climbing. The public order is being built up. This corruption spreading quickly, and that's perfect. That's ideal. That's where you want to be as Norska. I'm still building these upkeep production buildings, and as you can see, my upkeep, my income is definitely rising, and that is largely due to these upkeep production buildings. I'm building a handful of income buildings. It's like the new ports, but in Bersonling territory. But by and large, it is this income. So unfortunately, if Empire confederates, I'm not really going to be able to fight. I'm not really going to go to war with Empire at the moment because this army's out in the open. And Talabheim's back here, and I want to kind of sweep in from the east. I might just start raiding Dietershaven just to force a revolt. That would be, I think, perfect, because that would give me an opportunity to kind of deal with the provincial troubles once and for all. So I'm going to move down to Weissmund and going to raise it, and I think, or, well, we'll see. Maybe I'll sack it. I'm not entirely sure. That's a pretty weak settlement. And, yeah. I could sack it. I'm just going to raise it for the Hound, though, because I want to move through here quickly. I want to push south, take Karlberg, and, yeah, get through all that. So I could do Spawn of Chaos, which is unit experience per turn. I think that's why not? Why not? And extra unit experience per turn is never a bad thing. And over here, Sjoktraken is ours, and this is really going to set me up. So Frozen Landing is a little unhappy, but that's okay. That should stabilize fairly quickly with the growth. Sjoktraken will actually, well, with the military presence, it's unfortunate, but as these buildings get built up, the public order should climb fairly quickly. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Dietershaven. I'm actually going to move. So I'm going to move Wulfrik here, and in range of Dietershaven. So he's right there defending it. And I'm going to enter. Actually, I'm not going to enter raiding camp stance. I'll just move into Dietershaven. Undo some of this unhappiness. Keep building corruption. And yeah, I think that's practically it for this turn. Kislev doesn't need any more upgrading. I do have a lot of money, but I want to save it up a bit so that once I get, so that I can get Wulfrik very, sorry about that. And thinking about what I want to build. So, so that I can rebuild Wulfrik's army from scratch with basically new units. So I'm going to actually hold off on, going to build a new. Well, I'm not even sure what structure to build here. Could I guess build more work, and it's always nice to be able to field extras of those. So yeah, right now I'm basically going to be saving money just to get Wulfrik leveled up a bit, and yeah. So I'm going to pick a technology. I'm going to go with Master of the Bees just to get all the monster hunts unlocked and to be able to recruit mammoths a little quicker. And that's going to be it for this turn. Guys, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. If you have any comments, criticism, any questions about campaign, any sort of that sort of stuff, be sure to post them down in the comments, and I'll just respond as soon as I can. If I will be posting up the tutorials for Argulon, as well as hopefully some more Sanctus Reach gameplay, and of course Quick Match gameplay consistently. So yeah, if you enjoy all those things, definitely subscribe, definitely leave a like down, and as usual, I do appreciate you all for watching, and see you in the next one, guys. Wyvern out.